Drac, where are you?
Welcome back to Darkened Skye. Is Skye ever going to be reunited with her old buddy Drac? Well, this here is the level we're going to find out. Because Necroth's Realm is the final level of the game. And it's quite the dangerous place. I have spent a not insignificant portion of my life just making it through this level a few times for practice. Luckily, it's going to go a lot faster in this video. But it's still not going to be easy. This area is tough. I think that's enough fancy footwork for now. Skye should just be wrapping up the massive notes that she left for us. I believe she was just waxing philosophical about the nature of butts. So we should be able to be on our way. Now obviously we're going to need wind glide to get around on these floating platforms. My timing is a little off, because my timing was very, very off. Lethally so. Normally you can get quite a few hops on a single cast of wind glide there. Let's see if I can do better this time. It's best to spring into action on this one. They don't make it easy, but it's best. Yep. The best. That's me. No one's better at Darkened Skye. So let's get this show on the road for real. We can actually make it all the way over to this one. Just barely. And it's the best thing to do. Once it rises again, I will make it over to that platform on the right. And... ooh, get killing. Now, these are the upgraded Yarrows, but we've gone through a few upgrades ourselves over the course of the game since the last time we saw them. Let's drop a Ring of Rhyme and instantly kill them. They're nothing at this point. And that is fortunate. Now once we get all the way out here, a new one spawns in on our spawn point. I'm not even going to bother dealing with him. What I am going to deal with is this box, this glowing box. None of the buttons we press will open it because they changed the mechanics right here in the final level. I hate when games do that. We gotta smack these to open them up. And inside is a purple Skittle. I never figured that out on my initial run of the game. I almost did not have enough purple Skittles to complete the game. But luckily they drop plenty up ahead. Nonetheless, it is impossible to complete this level unless you figure out how to open those boxes. So I eventually had to look it up in an FAQ. After missing a bunch of very useful goodies. Ah, immensely satisfying. The enemies are insanely difficult here, but these boxes are all over the place. They all have some kind of potion or Skittle inside of them, so we're going to have tons of health potions. And we've got the spells to really wipe things out. Because we're going to be getting extra Skittles, we can now basically amplify all of our spells. And that makes some that were previously kind of useless much less so. But first, gotta deal with some old friends and re-equip Cleanse Evil, which we can now magnify with a purple Skittle left over. That's because in my previous run on video of the last area, or the area before last actually, there was a hidden door that had a purple Skittles in it. We could have had amplified Cleanse Evil all this time. No big deal. Ooh, that was kind of a big deal though. We just got a fancy bracelet. What's the deal with that? Well, it belongs to a guard. A specific guard. There's There's a couple guards that have these bracelets, and we're going to need to collect them all. And we've never looked at the talisman that updated after we got a 4th prism. We're so close to a rainbow, it's ridiculous. But in order to finish the rainbow, we're gonna have to put ourselves in a ridiculous amount of peril. Because up ahead, we've got a glass demon. Real hard to get an angle on him. But he goes down in a few amplified shots, so that's good at least. Awful nice of him. I did figure out why glass demons are susceptible to Cleanse Evil. And it's because Cleanse Evil targets demons and the undead. And they are called glass demons. They're not really demonic in any traditional sense, but their name is glass demon, therefore they are susceptible to the spell. I'm not going to complain. So we got glowing stick here. We can't bash that like we can the glowing chests, if only. Now, logically, you would go up the staircase and explore your way around this room here. It's not what the game expects you to do. You will not be punished for it directly, but it makes a upcoming puzzle much more difficult if you do it this way. So we're not going to do it that way. What we are going to do is meet, what are they called, grunks? Yeah, grunks. Miss those grunks. We can handle grunks pretty well now, too. But they are pretty tough. Take 2 rings of rhyme. And the other ones are off on floating platforms, so that's not going to work. Now, I find the Polar Pulse to be a little too slow to get them reliably. Looks like it's going to work for this guy, but the one that's much farther away, we might not be so lucky. But we'll find out. You'll notice he has a little glowing symbol above his head. That indicates that he is holding one of the guard bracelets. So he must die. And then we must go over to where he currently is, which is not easy to say the least. But he's standing still for us. Yeah. Awful nice of him to die so easily. I appreciate it. Now, as soon as we start platforming, though, they're gonna do something rude, I think. Yeah, there's no enemies. We've cleared all the enemies, so we should be safe to do our platforming. I'm not so confident. But we'll find out. Go a few rocks ahead and check in. Yeah. Yeah, they all spawned in. This is not supposed to happen. They're supposed to spawn in when we get the guard bracelet. But it keeps happening on my practice runs, so what are you gonna do? We're gonna get bombarded and be mostly unable to fight back for a while. Close to death. So there are... Oh. Well, I'll explain when I cut back to this area. As I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, back where we came from is now 2 glass demons. Further spawns will include a boss-type glass demon, like we fought at the end of the bell tower, and one of the yellow grunk archers. That's going to be a lot of very deadly projectiles coming at us. Very rapid fire. So, they're all down there now. We can play around with our spell loadout to hopefully survive this. I'm going to use Spell Shield. I've never shown it off before in the Let's Play, but it might have some negligible effect on our longevity here. What we want right now, my plan is Spell Shield, Magnify, then start casting Cleanse Evil, because most of the enemies down there are only susceptible to Cleanse Evil. So, Spell Shield takes up the entire mana bar. So there we go. Just make sure we get to Magnify Magic and Cleanse Evil. Let's see what this does for us. It's kind of hard to hit them since they are so far away. And it takes a lot of shots. They have insanely high health. But we got the 2 glass demons down. It's a definite start. Put this up just in case. Wait for this guy to become vulnerable again. It's also difficult to not just walk off the cliff, because we're on a ridiculously tiny platform. Okay, I think the archer is down. That's what allows the glass demon to get at us again. So go back into the pause menu, do this right. Amplify, and things are looking pretty good. We could have it if he returns. There he is. That's actually about halves the damage of incoming spells. The shield. And it's about to wear off. Need another mana potion. That's the last of them. Need another... Okay, we do not need a Magnify because all the enemies are dead. And that is approximately the most difficult fight in the entire game. Rather needlessly so, I think. But hey, we made it. Once I get back to the platform, I'm definitely going to save. We sort of have to avoid fall damage. Land on that tiny little branch. But the fight's not over, so we're all safely saved. Time to head back in and immediately face another glass demon. There he is. This is another one of the boss types. So he's got a lot of health. In fact, even when amplified, it will take more than an entire mana bar to kill him, if every single shot lands. And his shots are basically unavoidable. But anyway, this is a simple enough fight. We can talk a little bit more about the development of the game, which I've done a lot more research on. 3 names tend to come up a lot when reading about this game's development. The first is Elizabeth Braswell, who was the producer who was originally tasked with making the game. She's the one who said, "Make me do it or I'll quit," and they made her do it. Second is Andy Wolfenden. He wrote the 300 pages that comprise the script. So he's basically to thank for the entire game being decent. And the final one is a guy named Dale DeSharone. He is the founder of Boston Animation. And he's a pretty cool guy. Once I deal with these enemies, I'll talk about them a little more, because this fight is one we're going to see repeated a bunch of times. It's rather challenging, and if we had one more Lemon Skittle, the world would be a better place, because then we could equip Cleanse Evil and Ring of Rhyme. Until that happens, though, we're going to be switching back and forth, because we're given no quarter here. We need to use our best spells at all times. Or this will happen. This is why we saved. That's the glass demon down again. So as we reattempt this fight, with better spell loadout this time, it'll give me a chance to expound a little more on Dale DeSharone. He founded Boston Animation in the Ukraine. That's where the offices of Boston Animation are, not in Boston, as you might think. This is mostly as part of a business venture that he had back when he was working on the Philips CDI. He was instrumental in that system's development. And as a result, really the development of disc-based gaming in general, on consoles at least. So his influence on video games is still felt to this day. Though he's not exactly thought of very highly, because he personally directed Zelda, Wand of Gamelon, and Link Faces of Evil, 2 maligned Zelda games. And you can really see his attitude towards game development, both in those games and in Darkened Skye. It's very haphazard, very just get it done. And if it's good, all the better, but rarely does that turn out for the best. That said, he clearly had a lot of passion for game development, even if it didn't show through in the design all the time. And I really think it's just perfect that he had such a huge impact on those 2 specific notorious games. Games that some people say are a bit underrated, just because they aren't as good as your average Zelda, don't meet your typical expectations. They've got a different kind of charm, much like your Darkened Skies. Now, as the founder of Boston Animation, who is tasked with developing Darkened Skye here. Ooh, I kind of want to get that. Yeah, this door over here is actually optional, so I'm going to skip it, because it's dangerous. But anyway, as the founder of Boston Animation, he personally oversaw the team in the Ukraine that developed this game. Sort of makes him the de facto director of Darkened Skye. The game has no director credit, but effectively it was Dale DeSharon. It's very interesting to hear him talk about the game. It's his less favorite of this and the other game that was in development at the same time, which was that crazy M&M's game that tried to do everything all at once. But anyway, as we wrap up this obnoxious sequence, finally. There we go. Final guard bracelet. Now we just gotta fight our way out. And you can read so much more about Dale DeSharon in an aptly named article calling him simply an unspoken legend, which he is indeed. A lot of terrible, terrible geometry in this room, very easy to get stuck on. And it's going to happen because this room is very, very dark. That's the last of them. Get our health potion, got all our guard bracelets. We are good to go. The only problem is we need to safely descend the staircases here, which is going to require more wind glide. And of course, since we're descending, we have to wait for it to wear off. Brilliant game design. Thank you, Dale. Remember to open all the boxes, because we're going to need these health potions. And worth noting, Dale DeSharon unfortunately passed away in 2008. But like I said, his impact on game design will be felt pretty much forever. It was very, very important. But anyway, time to enter this locked off room. I do not have the Pyropulse equipped. No surprise we're going to need it. Second time we're using this mechanic in the game. There we go. Now we can enter and meet another human. About time.
Excuse me, do you know?
Why, yes. I believe I do.
Mother? I thought you were...
Shh. I would never leave this world without saying goodbye. I've always been with you, and I always will. Look at you. Look at the woman you've become.
How did you end up here?
I was betrayed by someone I trusted. I'll explain later. For now, let's get me out of here. I wish I could tell you how. It takes 3 guards to open in the cell. That's all I know.
Wow, a tearful reunion with Skye's mother. It's been foreshadowed for hours and hours and hours. And that's all they had to say. We cannot interact with her any further. She's pretty much just gonna ignore us while we solve the puzzle. She's only proud of us if we solve the puzzle. And that, of course, is what the bracelets are for. Look at all the symbols on the wall. It's a familiar sort of puzzle for Darkened Skye. So each bracelet has 2 symbols on it. Let's start with the first one. We got like an upside down smiley face and an infinity symbol. Then we've got some kind of a bugle, I guess. And like a chakram, maybe, if I'm being generous. And this. I don't know what these are, but they're the odd ones out, so we'll figure it out. Now, what you would do if you found these, even if you found them in the correct order, which is difficult to do, like I said, normally you would go up the tower as the second one. That would put the bracelets out of order. So then you'd have to figure out the correct order, which there's no indication. I got them in the incorrect order my first time through. But we've got them in the correct order now. This is the first one. You basically can't get this one in any order except the first because it's on the vampires you have to get through in order to even enter the building. So you would think, do these symbols first, then these symbols, then these ones. You would be dead wrong. What you are supposed to do is put in these 2 symbols first, then these 2, then these 2. You have to go backwards, but you have to read the symbols forwards. So it's the semicircle there, followed by the grill thing, I guess. Then the bugle and chakram, then the smiley face and infinity. It's cruel. Like, why would you reverse the order? That's insane. Del de Chiron, you are tormenting me from beyond the grave. But anyway. If you somehow manage to figure that out, it's quite simple. Oh, also, the symbols are drawn differently on the buttons than they are on the bracelet, but we've seen that before.
Yeah, I ordered the combination plate.
There we go. So, Skye's mother gets up out of her seat and joins our party. She's coming with us. She's got nothing to say on the matter, but that's fine. We got a adventuring ally as we enter the next area. Collect some more health potions, ever important. And look at this, pathway to hell. Just a fiery inferno. Up to some kind of towering nightmare. Better believe we're gonna have to cross that. Gonna need all the health potions we can get before we try that. Now, how do we get across this? Well, we're gonna need a little help.
Dorian?
Walk to me! If you follow in my footsteps, you will not be killed. But you have to trust me.
Never trust a man who says trust me. I once trusted someone with all my heart. He sold me out to Necross. That man, Skye, was your father.
Shocking revelations abound. Now, we've never trusted Dorian. He has been, well, not trustworthy. And our mother has implored us. This beacon of virtue, wearing really cool armor, has insisted that we not trust him. So, why on earth would we trust him? Yeah, let's do the opposite of what he says. No, that obviously wasn't gonna work. There's a little more to it than that. So, we can't even see any footprints. How are we supposed to trust him if we don't even have the means to see his footprints? Well, we do have the means in a spell that we haven't used in a very long time. Now's the time to reclaim our very first spell, True Sight. If we use that, we see 1,000,000 footprints. So we got some humanoid footprints and some gargoyloid footprints. Honestly, that could be Drac. Drac might have led the way for us. I trust Drac more than I trust Dorian. But I am wrong to do so. We are supposed to trust Dorian. We've been begged to do otherwise. We've been told the entire game to do otherwise. But it's time to do as he says. 'Cause he is the big, strong, important man. And who are we? We're just Skye, the heroine of the game. Not good enough. So, not only are his footprints the correct invisible path to take, they're also really awkward. I don't know why he got drunk before he made his walk up here, but I don't appreciate it. And he did some fake outs, crisscrossed with the gargoyle feet. Dorian's a madman. I don't like him. I never liked him, but he has led us to safety. I'm gonna do another quick save before I run into his open arms for a long-awaited embrace, I guess? By Skye, at least. And now it's time to give him our thanks and get a big ol' heaping dump of exposition.
Flesh and blood. You are flesh and blood.
Thanks to you, you lifted the curse on the gargoyle realms.
So, what does that have to do with you?
For such a clever adventurer, you disappoint me. Who disappeared from you at the same time I did?
Drac, but... Drac? You? Drac? One and the same?
Identical. But this is my true nature. Human. I was steward of the guardian gargoyles. When Necross froze them in stone, he turned me into a gargoyle as my punishment. I've been by your side all along.
When you appeared to me, why didn't you just tell me who you were?
I never appeared to you, Skye. It was your mind that conjured me. Once you started casting True Sight, you couldn't help but see the truth. But your mind revealed only as much as you were ready to see.
But Quinella's horse, how did you take it?
I did nothing. The horse was under your command from the moment you awakened it. Your will transported it.
Well, I'm so sorry, Dorian. Drac. And I'd actually started to think you were... someone else.
That's all right.
See what happens, Skye, when you trust a man who says, "Trust me"?
Wait! I didn't cause this.
So, any other truths you think I'm ready to see?
Perhaps one or two. I promised I would reveal my true nature, and I always keep my promises. Now, I promise you each 8 entire seconds in which to live. My generosity astounds me. Your clock is ticking.
Well, don't worry about that Drac is Dorian madness. Oh, we can't do much about it from down there. So that's one planned outcome of this boss fight. This is why I saved in advance. Skip all those cutscenes because they're terrible. Get out of here. And fight the boss. Die, monster. Who is inexplicably susceptible to fire even though he breathes it. You'd think that would be poor design, but he's not really susceptible to fire. His health regenerates way too fast. What we can do, sort to use these guys as human shields while we fight back. That has a certain amount of efficacy. Don't worry about that note there. It's a spoiler, so I'll pop it up at the appropriate time.
No! If only you could have used magic too.
Oh, we got a little clue there as Skye's mother died.
Oh, no! If only you could have used magic
As did
too.
Dorian. So that is not the correct way to go. But we were told the correct way to go. Now what we need to do, after these cutscenes again, is open those boxes that are on our starting platform. They have some necessary tools inside. Specifically Skittles. Purple Skittles. We've now got a ton of purple Skittles. And what that will allow us to do, if we collect all of them, is use our new spells. We've got Create Wizard, which is the best spell. What that does is confers magic powers on another. So as Skye said, we need to grant magic powers to our friends. That'll help them help us save the day. And the other spell is Heart of the Rainbow, which is a pulse of the true rainbow power. The greatest mistake in the entire game, and there's a lot of them, I will admit, but the single greatest one is that Heart of the Rainbow costs 6 purple Skittles when they could have made it cost 1 of each color Skittle. It could have been an actual rainbow to cast Heart of the Rainbow, and then, but instead it's the same cost as Create Wizard because that's the most expensive thing. What? That's so wrong. I'm actually furious about that. Like, what? How did they not think of that? So I dread using Heart of the Rainbow. I don't want to use it because it's bad now. It could have been an actual rainbow, but alas. We're just going to create wizards instead, and wizards will save us, because I don't want to save us anymore. See? I wanted to do that. So this time will be different. This time we're going to save the day. Except we won't. Our friends will save the day for us. But as they're saving the day, there's going to be more plot exposition. Because we are near the end of the game, and they have created far too many loose ends. So they're all going to get solved all at once. I have a lot of problems with this area freezing, so I'm going to do Skye's mother first, then Dorian.
No. If you cast that spell on him, his powers will be enormous.
Good, then he can help us kick this clown's tail.
Or turn against us and lend his new powers to Necross.
Mom, I know you have trouble trusting men after what happened to you, but come on, Dad couldn't have been that bad.
Really? Skye, I'd like you to meet your father.
I think she's got my eyes. I can't wait to get her!
Now will you entrust a man with a wizard's powers?
Shocking. Now I've got a moral choice to make. And like I said, this usually freezes when I do Dorian first. I almost called him Drac, even though he's very, very strongly a different character from Drac. Like, they don't even have the same voice actor. I don't know what they were thinking there. That's the worst plot twist. But anyway, it's easy after that.
I'm sorry I didn't trust you.
You had good reasons. Let's go.
There we go. Bury the hatchet. So we should be past the point where it's likely to freeze at least. I also had a lot of problems with this stage where if I died and didn't reload, I just started from the beginning of the area, I would respawn with all the spells I had equipped completely removed from the spellbook and the Skittles that were in those slots, rendering the game unwinnable, obviously. Luckily that did not happen any of the time I've been playing for this recording, so that glitch cleared up somehow. And here's our friends, goofily walking around because they can't get to us. There are the final handful of notes for the entire game. They just dump a bunch of them on us all at once. So I'm going to spread those out as cleanly as I can. And our good friends, they got nothing else to say to us. They've solved their problems, and that's the last they're going to speak. Now, what we do have to do is equip that spell I hate. And use it to extinguish these flames. If we touch those flames, we just die instantly. Sometimes the flames go out as soon as the spell hits it, sometimes they go out after the spell ends. Yeah. Always makes me worried when I cast it and then nothing happens. But anyway, this spell's dumb. This end of the game is dumb. But it's almost over. Oh, we killed our friends. Nah, they're fine. The Dark Prism never existed. That's what that was, the Dark Prism that Necroth created to give him the power of the rainbow, even though it's dark. I don't know. But anyway, that's all the idiocy out of the way. Onward to a path we saw in the very beginning in the opening cutscene, which is actually really cool. We saw a little tiny guy wander up this pathway and warn Necroth that we had become empowered. I don't recall seeing this little hole in the bottom for him to get in, but it's convenient for us because now we can get in. We just gotta say goodbye to Skye's mother as she becomes a shark. Darkened Skye, I'm gonna miss you when you're gone. But anyway, that time is not now. Now is the time where we diminish and enter Necroth's chambers to face him once and for all.
About my own neck. When I dispose of you, I shall have the other.
Before we battle, I just need to know. Why? What drove you to rob our worlds of their magic? What sick need is satisfied by destroying the joy of others? What horrible wound to your psyche could possibly have... flip it, I'm no therapist.
Necross sure is appropriately hideous for all the build-up. And he's very, very, very far away. So despite seeing his health bar there, we can't get to him. But let's try. He's got a series of scream tubes. And he knows exactly where we are and which ones to activate at any given time. Which will prevent us from closing the gap on him. So this area is insanely elaborate. Like, there's a ridiculous number of paths. They go all over the place. There's platforms all over the walls here. And on each and every one of those platforms is a new Skittles we can get. But we have no further need for Skittles. We've cast every spell in the game. The only thing I meant to show off, which I failed to do, was the amplified lightning, which is more useful than regular lightning, obviously. Maybe I'll use that once we actually get to Necroth. Teach him a lesson with that powerful spell. But first we gotta get there. We're constantly going to be hounded by homing fireballs. And we gotta find a way to get up the path, which you continuously will block off with pretty much instant death screams. I don't know why that's a power of his, but not really on brand, but it is, and we gotta deal with it. I'm having a hard time dealing with it. So what I'm gonna do is equip Wind Glide. It's pretty useful here. We got another Skittle over in True Sight. Equip that. We'll need it to get up to him and save the game. Now we've got all we need to make our way towards Necroth. And it's best to do this as quickly as possible and keep your camera tilted upwards. And not fall down as much as possible, but there are a bunch of health pickups down at the bottom. It's not too bad to fall down. It's actually a pretty short path once you have figured out the correct path. There are multiple correct paths because there's so many paths in general, but most of them are really, really inconvenient. This is the best path that I found, which is to go up this way, cast our Wind Glide, then float over here, and die. I did not nail the trajectory on that one. We've got infinite retries. So, we come up here just before that. Oh, I did not have my staff out. So it'll be faster just to reload. Okay. Return from whence we came. There we go. All set. Let's cast our Wind Glide. Too close to the pillar. That forced me into the death spiral. You can't spend about half a second in there before you die. So that's generous, I guess? I think we got enough height. Ah, so close. That's the platform I want to get to. And get there I shall, eventually. Staff out. There we go, doing this perfectly. Got a little boost, and there we go. So this is where we want to be. This is an excellent spot to be. So once we get past a few of these fireballs, we want to get to the highest point, simultaneously cast, Wind Glide, and jump. This will give us all the height we need to get over here. Oh, so close. Well, it's a restart anyway. You can see how this gets super frustrating, especially when you don't know the correct way to go. But a few more tries and we should make it. So let's have another go at this ascent. Surely I'm getting better at it at this point. This part's quite simple, especially if you skip the ledge. And there's Necroth, up in his little perch. That's where we gotta go. If we can get up here and stay there. There we go. Now we're set. Coming for you now, buddy.
Well, I'll be danged. He whose face cannot be glimpsed. That's 'cause he's too small to see. You're Lord Necroth? You're nothing but a pathetic little...
Enough. Are you so naive to imagine this size has any cosmic meaning at all? I have stood 10,000 times your size.
But your selfish obsessions have withered you down to this. On guard, maggot.
Almost seemed like our path here was unintentional, but we made it, and now we gotta choose our spells wisely. So let's try out the Magnified Lightning. That sounds fun. There he is. Get him in our sights and zap him. It's not very effective. And also, he's invincible while he's playing with that horn. So we'll get closer, demand his attention. And zap him again. You don't want to get too close, because he's got a melee attack. Well, we'll show it off. Yeah, it's insanely deadly. Hits us with his xenomorph head, and I didn't save after getting to the cutscene there. Back where we trigger that cutscene. Right up in Necross' ugly face. Just about time to kill him. And this time I'm not going to jump on his platform. That was a terrible idea. But Amplified Lightning worked well enough. So let's play with that again. Just for the sake of a little variety. Yep, terribly ineffective. Look at him flop around. Yeah, this lightning is terrible. It costs too much mana. But the pulse spells, they'll kill him pretty easily. But now what? He's regenerating. Classic video game sounds. Well, to land the killing blow, we need Heart of the Rainbow.
It's over.
Not quite. There's still the trifling matter of restoring the rainbow. Heart of the rainbow, my dear. Heart of the rainbow.
It won't work that way. Cast the spell directly on me.
But it's too powerful. You'll be...
Killed? No, Skye. Quite the opposite. I'll live forever. You'll understand in time. I told you I would never leave this world without saying goodbye. Goodbye, Skye. I've always been with you, and I always will. Wherever you see the rainbow. Now, fulfill my destiny, Skye. Now!
That's one way to taste the rainbow. All right, that's enough. You can stop tasting now. You can stop. Oh. May as well be talking to the back end of a Dwentle.
May as well be talking to the back end of a Dwentle. The final closing words of our 10-hour journey through Darkened Skye. And it's over. We made it. Somehow. I went into this game almost positive I was not going to complete the Let's Play. I don't know what I was thinking, but hey, we're here. All the way to the end credits. I've given everyone a lot of opportunities to escape. In the first video alone, I basically insisted that you vacate the premises 3 times, but you stuck with me, and for that, I thank you. Your reward, unfortunately, is Skye making out with Drac after exploding her mother. Didn't see things going that way, but them's the breaks. This is what you get when you play through Darkened Skye. You would never do this to yourself. Very few people have. I'm glad that I did, honestly. I do love this game. It badly fumbled the ending. The ending is terrible. Like so many of the games that I love and Let's Play, the ending just goes way off the rails. But it's acceptable. Really, the biggest problem is that the ending wasn't funny at all. There was no satisfying conclusion to anything they set up. See, in my dream ending, what I was really hoping would happen would be that the entire rebellion would show up to help us deal with Necroth at the end. Like the Heart of the Forest from way back. Merlin, we only saw him for a couple of seconds. He could have helped. There was that traitor from the Warlord's Castle. They set up a real cool cast of characters that I kind of liked. They could have popped back in right at the end and said, hey, we'll help you kill Necroth. We're good people too. We're also heroes, but, well, Necroth is behind us. Darkened Skye is behind us. Again, thank you all very much for joining me. I take it as a personal compliment that you joined me, but really I hope you've enjoyed the journey as much as I have, and I have enjoyed it. This game is good. It's probably the funniest game I've ever played, which is a low bar to clear. I've also played Conker's Bad Fur Day and Brutal Legend. Both of them kind of peter out at different parts. Darkened Skye is at least consistently funny for most of the game. It's got more good laughs than either of those games, in my opinion. And despite that, no one should ever have to subject themselves to playing it. So if I've saved anyone from playing it themselves and they've enjoyed the experience, then I've done good work. And I'm glad that this stupid project was worth your time. Because stupid things are worth your time. So try it yourself, why not? You can definitely do a better Let's Play than I did of Darkened Skye. Just choose a better game. So thanks for watching. Thanks for enjoying my words and Skye's. And I hope to see you in maybe a better project. Or maybe not. But regardless, have a good one, folks.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows? And what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions. And rainbows have nothing to hide. So